Hello, welcome to this update. So let's see some changes in the severe weather forecast for the rest of this week into this weekend, as well as the heavy rainfall. So hope everybody's okay from the severe weather yesterday. There were some very big tornadoes. So let's see today what to expect. They added this enhanced risk for today, Thursday, April 3rd, and there's this slight risk as well from Texas all the way to West Virginia, and this bigger marginal risk. So the tornado is actually 10% in this enhanced risk, and hatched as well. So there's still probability for a strong tornado or two, and the 5% a big area, and the 2% goes all the way from Texas to New Jersey. So a big area. There's the wind, a small 30% in Mississippi, Tennessee, spots of Arkansas, and the 15% and 5% for the damaging winds. There's the hail, the biggest threat as of now. There's this 30 and 15% and a big area hatched for potentially very large hail. So I don't know if they change anything here. So be aware, especially from Texas to Tennessee, the largest hail. So severe thunderstorms are likely today along a frontal zone from the southern plains to the lower Mississippi Tennessee valleys. The most concentrated corridor for severe potential should be focused the arc attacks across the mid-south into the middle Tennessee. Large hail damage winds and a few strong tornadoes are possible. So stay safe, be careful there. Have some ways to receive warnings too, and be careful. As you can see here, from the her shows a lot of rain there. And then this goes, especially later today, shows those stronger storms near Tennessee and Arkansas, some others in Texas, especially later this evening, shows in spots of Texas and Arkansas, and this goes there. So please be aware. And then Friday, tomorrow, shows like that rain continues further east, and still like more storms spots of the southern Midwest, but later in the afternoon we could have a problem. So shows like central here, a little bit further south, like south here. So shows into tomorrow afternoon those more discrete storm spots in northeastern Texas and Oklahoma. So it does show some possible supercells, some in Arkansas maybe as well. The her. So be aware tomorrow afternoon and evening. And first focus on today, but then be careful tomorrow too. So here for day 2, there's actually this moderate risk now they just added. So this like very new. They just added this, and it might be because those storms I just showed you down the her. So shows like this enhanced risk, Texas, and spots of Louisiana and Arkansas, and Oklahoma, and this moderate risk, especially in Oklahoma, Texas, a big portion of Arkansas, and maybe northwest most Louisiana. There's this slight and marginal risk around it too. The marginal goes all the way from Texas to Ohio, so a big area. The tornado is the main thing tomorrow, so a 15% and a 10%, both hatched for potentially strong tornadoes, especially in the 15% from those supercells there. So please be careful. There's the 5% and the 2%. So it's not a very big area, but there could be some strong ones in that area. Wind is just 15 and 5%, so be careful some damaging wind gusts, but it's not the main threat. And hail, there's hatched in central Texas, potentially some large hail, and 30% in the Arkansas Texas spots of Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas and Louisiana, and hatched as well for very large hail. So be careful tomorrow. Several clusters of strong severe storms are possible from central Texas across the Arkansas Texas to the lower Ohio Valley. And Friday and Friday night, the greatest threat for tornadoes, large hail damaging winds will be from the Arkansas Texas across western Arkansas, great potential for strong to potentially intense tornadoes. This here might be very dangerous, intense tornadoes. Please be careful and be mindful. Day 3 is still an enhanced risk as well for Saturday. So there's spots Louisiana, Mississippi, and Arkansas and Texas, and there's slight risk from Texas to Ohio. So probabilistic is 30, 15, and 5%, and this 30% is hedged for potential significant severe weather possible Saturday. So Saturday, an upper trough meridional leading speed max will move across the southern plains with the wave ejecting into the mid-Mississippi Valley Sunday morning. As the trough approaches, winds aloft to increase through the period, 50 to 60 knot mid-level winds common into the lower Mississippi and Tennessee valleys. So please be careful for Saturday too. Basically today, tomorrow, and Saturday, a lot of the dangerous storms still. So have a lot of ways to receive warnings and be careful. Still for Sunday, a 15% in the southeast in Florida and Georgia and Alabama and parts of southeastern Mississippi. So still be aware there, but I don't think this will be as dangerous as tomorrow and Saturday and today too, but especially tomorrow. So be aware. So, a leading mid-level waves forecast to move out of Arkansas and across Tennessee, Kentucky, with little amplitude and poor lapse rates by this time. Extensive air rain and thunderstorms ongoing along the length of the cold front throughout the day. And from the northeast to the northern Gulf Coast, some severe wind threat is expected mainly for parts southeast where dew points will be higher and deep layer shear remains variable. So yeah, still be aware on Sunday there. But then Monday and the rest of the week sounds kind of quiet. But yeah, we'll still keep monitoring for future storms, but for now, there's a lot to monitor today until Sunday. So please stay safe. And this is one thing. The other thing is this: there might be even more dangerous or as dangerous as the severe weather. So there's this high risk of excessive rainfall today across Arkansas, Tennessee, and Kentucky, and even branching to Missouri or northern Mississippi. And there's this moderate as well, and the marginal and the slight risk. So please be careful in those areas, especially the high risk with flash flooding, landslides, and river flooding, especially some very dangerous river flooding, even some urban flooding and everything. So stay safe from floods, don't drive through floods, stay away in higher ground, and please be careful. Just for you to have an idea, there are tons of flash flood warnings in that red array there. So please be careful. Day 2 is just a moderate spots of Texas, Oklahoma, and Arkansas, and spots in Missouri and Indiana to Kentucky. But this is still very dangerous. So be careful with flooding tomorrow too, because especially the more it rains, the more saturated the ground will be. So please stay safe. There's a slight and the marginal from Texas to Pennsylvania. So please be careful. But guess what we have on day 3? Just try to guess another high risk for day 3 in spots of Arkansas, Tennessee, and Kentucky, southern Illinois, and Missouri. So, yet again, and a moderate across those areas from Arkansas to Ohio, and a bigger slight and marginal. So, please stay safe, especially this is for Saturday, day 3, and it will rain today, tomorrow, plus Saturday, so the ground will be even more saturated. Please be careful with flooding and take this seriously. This is not something to joke around. Please be careful with flooding. And there's day 4, a slight and a marginal further in the southeast, and day 5, a small marginal. So yeah, be aware. There's the quantity of precipitation still shows today, Thursday, close to 3 inches in spots of Kentucky, Tennessee. Might be close to 4 inches in a spot or 2, but maybe some 2 to 3 inches. Day 2 is already all the way up to 5 inches in Missouri and Arkansas, southern Oklahoma, 2 in Texas, and all the way to Indiana, some heavy rain. So tomorrow might cause more troubles too for the flooding. Day 3 is the other high risk and it's even more than 5 inches, like 5 and 5.5 near right in that area of the high risk. So please stay safe. Another area of 4 inches and 3 inches around that 5 inch area. So please stay safe and be careful. Day 4 goes away to the southeast. Day 5 some rain, Florida to Virginia. Day 6 still in Florida, the Bahamas. Day 7 this goes still through like the Bahamas and Florida. But day 1 through 7, that bright yellow you see there is upwards of 10 inches or even more than that. So please be careful. This is just a huge flooding threat. Stay safe and check the National Weather Service for advice. This here, I don't think this is updated because it shows the high risk as it was a few days ago. But check here occasionally for new key messages, and please just be careful with flooding. Let's see if there's anything for winter storm here. Just in the southern Rockies, even to the high plains there, some snow, and it's starting to show some major impacts in the highest parts of northern New Mexico. So be careful. Still some ice there in Maine and New Hampshire, some snow. Should be careful as well. So be aware. This is the National Weather Service as well. For the rain next 48 hours, shows those browns there, upwards of 6 inches, even more. There's the 48-hour snow, shows mainly in the Rockies and northern Maine, and spots especially in Colorado and New Mexico close to 10 inches or even 12, 15, some higher spots. There's the ice, shows still in New Hampshire, Maine, especially in New Hampshire, in like central Maine, some spots close to 1/4 of an inch, or even more than that. For the north, close to 1/10 of an inch, and more in New Hampshire, northern Vermont. Might be some, so be careful. Some ice there, still slippery roads and everything. So stay safe. The 24-hour wind gust shows in northern New York, potentially some more than 50-mile-per-hour gusts next 24 hours. In spots of the Rockies or the plains, slightly higher in a few spots, but nothing crazy. But be careful those storms. It doesn't show here the wind from the severe weather, but it will be very high too. Be careful. Still those warm to hot temperatures in the south, especially southern Texas, close to 100, and some 90s is across the southeast. So be aware, some cold, the Rockies still, and still shows like some cold Friday morning, tomorrow, and tonight. It's some single digits, even negative in spots of the highest parts of Colorado. Be careful, and the Sierra Nevada, some 20s, 30s northern plains, and still warm in the southeast during the night. And shows tomorrow during the day, Friday, some widespread A is in the southeast and some 90s, especially southern Texas. Be careful, and shows some 70s on the west. Still some 30s during the day in the plains and Rockies, so beware. Shows Saturday morning, spots of the Rockies, still some single digits to negative, and some teens in the plains, northern plains, and some 40s, 50s in the Midwest, and other spots of the plains. There's day 3 as well, shows some 80s and 90s in the southeast still, and colder in the Rockies there. And all the way down to the southern Rockies, and shows some 70s in the west and some 80s there in Southern California and Arizona. But still on Sunday mornings, some teens in the plains, some 20s, all the way down to Texas, and some single digits in the higher elevations, and in the northeast, some 30s maybe too. So be aware. And this here is Sunday afternoon, still some 90s in the southeast, some 80s, some 60s in some areas there, and already warming up along the west. There's some more 80s, probably some 90s in that valley, and more spots. So be aware. Day 4, still some low teens, even to like 8, 7 Fahrenheit in the northern plains there on Monday morning, and some 30s down the Midwest, Northeast, and some spots near like New Mexico, Colorado especially. There's day 5 max, shows for Monday, spots of Florida, still some 90s, some 70s for the south, even towards Montana, some 90s in the southwest, and some 80s. So be our Tuesday morning, still some teens, 20s, northern Midwest, northern plains, and for the northeast, and spots of the Rockies still. There's day 6 for Tuesday afternoon, spots of the plains, especially the southwest, some 90s, and Florida, some 70s still, and 80s. Day 6 mean this cold moves further east, some 20s, 30s on the northeast and midwest, but still the high elevations. And shows day 7 even hotter in the southwest, some 90s close to 100, and some 80s in the south 70s, and some 60s further north. But this here changes all the time, so we can't know exactly what will happen. This shows some interstone watches in the Rockies already, especially New Mexico, Colorado, so interstone warnings in other areas, and all these flood watches, river flood warnings, and flash flood warnings. So stay safe. There's here the GFS for Friday into Saturday. That's trough diving down there with the severe weather. Tomorrow and Saturday, especially this trough is more pronounced Saturday there. But be careful. The severe weather and everything. It shows here some dew points too. So this is Friday evening, tomorrow afternoon. Even some 70s dew points branching to Arkansas, Texas, southwestern Oklahoma, right where the moderate risk is there. So those are some fairly high dew points. Be careful tomorrow. And later in the night diminishes, but still some good 60s dew points. Some areas, and like a little bit earlier in the afternoon, as those 70s there. So stay safe. There's today too, because there's also the enhanced risk today, so shows some 60s, even high 60s in those areas. Further north some 50s and 40s, but further south there, more or less where the enhanced risk is, some good dew points as well. So stay safe. There's the herd too, shows like uh, this is, let's see, this afternoon here. So Thursday shows the lightning flash density from those storms, and this is around later this evening spots of Arkansas and Texas. So stay safe. This is Friday morning. Alright, is some lightning, some storms there, but later into Friday afternoon shows still some storms there, but the biggest part of it will not have started yet. Later in the afternoon, you see those small storms popping up there that will cause the main event, and then later in the evening, those supercells, a lot of light in those areas. So be careful, especially still shows later in the evening. There's the significant tornado parameter too, especially like uh, tomorrow evening, shows in Arkansas more, but shows spots of Texas too, and it's hard to see, but shows some spots in southwestern Arkansas, even close to 8 there, so some very high localized parameters, some spots there, so stay safe. Later in the evening, still some, but starts diminishing a little bit. There's right now, this afternoon, some moderately high parameters as well, some spots there near the enhanced risk, so stay safe. And as seen both days, today and tomorrow, shows those tracks there, even central Texas, some big storms, and those areas, Mississippi Valley, the Arcotex, and more areas. So stay safe, those storms. And here for Candace, some quick stuff. Still shows that cold there, not as cold, it's kind of milder, like minus 21 compared to minus 35 is kind of milder. But does show in Ontario, even to 18 degrees, it's already much better there, but still cold in some spots. But tomorrow morning does go down a little bit the temperature, especially in the mountains in Alberta and in Nunavut in northern Quebec. The southeast remains kind of mild. This goes there, warms up in the afternoon, some more spots there, but still cold in some northern sanctuaries. This goes and like you can see on Saturday morning, the coast dives all the way down to the southern US and throughout central Canada, those negative temperatures, including Alaska, so be careful, and spots of eastern Canada, especially northeastern Canada. But in the afternoon does reach like 18 degrees spots of the west. Sunday, that's Saturday actually, but Sunday morning shows spots in Nunavut close to minus 30. Be careful, but still in Ontario, Manitoba's some negative temperatures, but far southern Quebec and southern Ontario doing better. But this goes does get warmer Sunday afternoon in Alberta, spots of British Columbia even to 19 degrees, and as far north as northwestern temperatures 13 degrees. But this area of cold air moves further east, so it does show some colder air in Ontario and Quebec later early next week, especially northern Ontario and Quebec, the coldest there, and in Nunavut, of course. But this goes still by next Tuesday, some cold in eastern Canada, the western active temperatures too, but this cold air mass is moving east there. Then this goes, it might get milder later on like the 13th or something. But yeah, be aware. For snow, there's still the remnants of the system, some snow Newfoundland and Quebec's some spots there, but shows like this lingering snow, some spots tomorrow, Friday, central Canada, and might go into Sunday there, spots of Quebec and New Brunswick, some ice, maybe some snow, more rain, Nova Scotia too. So this goes there and still shows some spots of snow uh, like on the 9th and the 10th spots of British Columbia because those Pacific systems and some lingering snow in Nunavut, occasionally northwestern territories on April 10th, maybe. But yeah, be aware. And does show some snow accumulations, more in eastern Canada, but especially there, be careful. But on the west, more in British Columbia, next 5 days, and spots in Nunavut, too, northern Yukon, and yeah, so be aware. Those areas, especially there, southern Alaska, shows reports of some 83 inches, even to 100 inches. Those mountains in southern Alaska, because those Pacific systems. Central Alaska, some 8 inches, 5 inches. So be aware. Some snow too diving down into New Mexico. There shows some 14 inches, 15 by the Europeans, some 5 inches. Even shows in northern Texas some 8 inches, 3 inches, 4 inches. Even shows some snow in Oklahoma. That's very late season to see that, but the GFS, if you like 8 inches in Oklahoma, the icon just 2 inches, 3 inches, more in Texas there. So yeah, be aware. Spots of Arizona might see some snow too, and especially southern Colorado, Wyoming, more spots there. So be aware. And there's this spot here in Michigan, southern Ontario, that does show some more snow as well, maybe, so be aware there too. And shows like North Dakota a little bit. There's the GFS, it doesn't have that spot, but it has like more into Maine, spots of the Northeast, some more snow too in Eastern Canada. But it does have a lot in New Mexico, some spots there. So be careful there too. The wind currently today, Thursday, stronger across the northeast, some more gusts in southern Canada, spots in Ontario, and then even spots like further in Louisiana, Texas, and the high plains there, some more gusts. But this goes does show maybe kind of breezy or gusty in spots of Atlantic Canada, Nova Scotia, and some areas there, and southern Alaska, some mountains there, and spots might get very gusty in the Aleutian Islands. So this goes does show stronger gusts into Saturday still, those areas of the south because of all those cold fronts with the severe weather. So be careful, even spots of the northeast. This goes show some strong winds northern Ontario near Hudson Bay, northern Quebec on Monday, especially Nova Scotia, some 70, even close to 90 Camille Pargas, some spots there. Monday, this goes like the show again. The European across northern Ohio, southern Ontario, spots of Michigan, some more winds. The GFS like is further north. It doesn't have that. But the icons just confused. So beware. Maybe Montana, some on the 8th, and the show more on the northern Rockies maybe later. The rest is too far. So stay safe, especially these storms here. They just got a tornado watch 6 minutes ago, so stay safe, be careful. And I think it's just important to show you some model data here for the rainfall totals, because I showed you there the National Weather Service, but let's see some model data too. There's the European just until Sunday here, shows reports of 10 inches, even northeastern Texas to 8 inches, spots of Kentucky, some 9 inches, and it's 5 inches, 7 inches. So be careful. If I put this until next Tuesday, shows near Tennessee, Arkansas, 10, 9 inches, and all the way up to Ohio, more than 5 inches, some spots in Mississippi, Louisiana too, and some rain for Florida, more spots on the east as well. There's the GFS, especially in Arkansas, next 5 days to 13 inches, 12 inches. So please stay safe with river flooding, flash flooding, and mudslides and everything. So the icon with more than 10 inches, 9 inches, more spots. So please stay safe. There's the her, but it's short range, just for today and tomorrow. So 9 to 8 inches, just next 1 day and 18 hours. And in Kentucky, reports of 6 inches to spots of Illinois. There's this elevated fire threat today in New Mexico and Texas, even to Colorado, some spots there. But be aware. So stay safe.